We're going to start by having a look at layers and masks, how they work, how they interact, and how we can make use of them in Photoshop. So to begin with, what we're going to need are several layers. This is our layers palette here. This allows us to keep track of them and just make various adjustments of the layers. But we're going to need more than one. So we have our blank layer here, labeled layer 1. Well, now we're going to go Layer, New, Layer. Notice the shortcut key, Shift Control N. We're going to call this Black Circle. Now you can also edit a layer that already exists. So for example, if I double click on layer 1 here, I can rename it and call it White Square. So I have our two layers here, our white square and our black circle. So we need to put something in them. So first and foremost, let's make a selection. At the top here we have our selection tools, just various ways of selecting parts of the image. And what we're going to start with is our rectangular marquee tool. All that does is it makes a selection in a rectangular or square shape that we can then use. So that's roughly square. So we've called this white square. So what we need to do is take a brush, and then we take our black paint, our white paint, and then we just start painting in here. You'll notice that even as the cursor moves outside of the selection, the paint doesn't. This is what selections do. These allow us to make changes only to one part of the image without going over the edges. So we've made our white square. We're going to make a different selection now, but first we have to get rid of that one. And to do that, we go Select, Deselect, which is Control and D. So I've made my white square. I now want to make my black circle. It's essential that I select the correct layer. So I click on my black circle layer. This time I'm going to choose the elliptical marquee. The elliptical marquee, same as the rectangular to a rectangle, this draws an ellipse or a circle. So again, roughly circular. And what we're going to do is it's a black circle this time. So again, we pick our paintbrush, hotkey B, and then we switch to the black. And again, paint inside of it. Now I'm going to deselect that using Control and D. So what we have here is a black circle and a white square. But they're not aligned. They don't line up correctly over one another. So what we need to do is start moving the layers around. To do that, we use our Remove tool. So making sure our black circle layer is selected, we've got our Move tool, and we just click and drag. That is all it takes. Using the Move tool just allows you to drag a layer around. So if I move the black circle here, if I decide to move the white square, I first need to click the white square layer, then click and drag it over. So that's your selections and your movements, but we need to understand something else about layers, and that's how they interact with one another. So it's a hierarchical system. Basically what is on top is more visible, what is underneath is less visible. So right now the black circle appears on top of the white square because it's a higher level. But if I click and drag the white square up, a little line will appear, and this lets me know that when I let go, the white square layer will be moved above it. So now the white square is on top of the black circle, and that means we can only see the white square because it obscures the view below. But that doesn't mean the black circle's been deleted. If we look at the Layers tab, we can still see it here. All we do is we click on the black circle and then move it, same as before, and you can see the black circle exists underneath the white square. So that's how layers work. They allow us to edit things individually in separate layers without affecting the entire image. So we can use this to make selections, make minor adjustments, or undo minor adjustments as needs be, and we'll have a look at that more in the next video.